Hello mamas, and welcome back to the Pregnancy with Physio Laura podcast. Today we are kicking off with our first episode in our Newborn Life series, discussing all about the wonderful fourth trimester. Now this episode is episode 1 of 6 in this Newborn Life series with the wonderful Jen Butler, who is an early parenting expert. Jen is a maternal and child health nurse, baby sleep consultant, mum of 2, and all-round wonderful woman who helps women understand themselves and their babies better so that they can enjoy the newborn period. You are going to love today's chat with Jen as we discuss the best ways to help support our newborns to transition from womb life to earthside. Now, let's chat to the incredible Jen Butler. Hi, Jen. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited because you are one of my first guest interviews, and I literally could not think of anyone more perfect to be on the podcast. As I was saying to you earlier, you just make me feel so comfortable to be nervous interviewing you for the first time, but I think that's what makes you so wonderful as an early parenting expert as well, is that you hold this, it's like this warm cuddle space for women just to feel comfortable, no judgment, no shame, and especially when women are feeling so vulnerable in those early days. I just think you have this unique ability to be like, I got you, girl. You know, whatever you're feeling, you can express it to me and I'm going to help you with some really practical and real advice. So that's why I love you so much. I also think you're the most down-to-earth person. There's no filter or any charades with you. There is just, this is how I am, this is how you get me. And I just love that about you. And I also love that we share a love for Beyonce and like getting our groove on. Turns out we both dressed up as Beyonce for our hens nights. And there are some amazing photos to go with that too. And I just think that you are the perfect person to chat to my audience and my posse members about that transition into motherhood, that fourth trimester, that looking after a baby, and that whole world that we often don't think about too much while we are actually pregnant. So, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Laura. And thank you for that very nice intro. I'm very, very passionate about holding that space and helping to hold mum's hands and welcome them into motherhood. It's like the biggest life transition you will make. And so, yeah, I feel very passionate about being able to help mums in that journey.
Awesome. I'm so excited. We're going to dive deep on so many different topics today, and we will split this out into a mini series because we want to focus our proper attention on all these different topics. But to start with, before we dive into all your amazing professional advice, I want to know from you, because I know you had a bit of a tough time when you had your first son, Max. I want to know what personal advice you would give any pregnant women right now listening to this who are about to expect their new baby. What personal advice would you give to a mum transitioning into that fourth trimester and that early motherhood phase?
Oh, I love this question, first of all. So Laura sent me a little outline of the things we're going to talk. And when I read this, I was like, oh, hallelujah. Because there is so much coulda, woulda, shoulda. I wish that you could go back in time and do these things over, but I can't. But what I can do is share where I went wrong. And so, to give it a bit of context, I went into motherhood pretty cocky because I was a maternal and child health nurse and a midwife. So, you'd think that I got it covered, right?
You got this.
I got this. I'm so good. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was so underprepared. And so that's where my advice stems from, is we spend so much time getting ready for the birth. Please allow time to prepare yourself for what to expect with your new baby. Because this is where I was, I think, very blindsided, is I didn't actually know what it was going to look like. Like people say, you're going to have sleepless nights. It's all a bit jokey. And I think there's also a little bit of this attitude that they're just going to wing it. And winging it can be okay, but it can also very much not be okay. You wouldn't wing birth. So why wing looking after your new baby? So my advice is prepare, take some time to learn about what it is you need to know about the essential skills of looking after a new little baby, because with that comes confidence, and confidence breeds enjoyment. And that is what it's all about, is you will enjoy your new little baby so much more if you feel confident in looking after them.
Yeah, I love that. I have a similar philosophy with the enjoyment, because I think a lot of people focus on the survival of pregnancy and birth and motherhood, but I talk about thriving rather than surviving.
Yes.
And I think your approach is very similar. How can you actually, to quote your podcast intro, love the crap out of motherhood. So
yes, exactly.
How can you really thrive? And I think that's really good to focus on. So rather than let's just aim for level 1, how can we be a level 10? And I think it's really good as well. A lot of women get confused because you're told to follow your intuition and you're told to follow your gut instinct, which I think is super important as well. But pairing that with actual solid advice and guidelines and knowledge, that's where the power is. Because I think when we haven't watched mums in a village raise their children, we don't actually have as much of an educated intuition around motherhood. We don't actually know very well. And I think pairing intuition with advice, that's where the magic is. Would you agree?
Oh, so much. Like that, I couldn't have put it better myself, is like, I encourage you to tap into your intuition, but if you tap into your intuition, know that something's not right, but you can't figure out what that is because you don't know, you haven't been taught these skills, then how, like, you know what I mean? It's, as you said, it's, yes, you intuitively know that something's up, but if you don't have that knowledge base to be able to go, well, I know this is normal, or I know this is what could be happening, then that intuition isn't really going to serve you alone very well.
Yes.
So you do, you need, like,
in partnership.
Exactly, in partnership. Like any new job, becoming a mum's a new job, right? And you don't go into a new job and, well, look, depending on your workplace, maybe they don't give you a good a good rundown.
Orientation.
Orientation. But you are trained. You have supernumerary days. You have all these time to actually learn what you have to do. And yet for some reason, we are expected to jump into motherhood with no prior knowledge of what to do. And in this current society, we aren't growing up around the community of women where we kind of learn through observation. We don't do that anymore. That is not what the way, that's what it used to be like. It's not like that anymore. And so we need to adapt.
100% agree. And for those women who have never heard of this concept, I think it's a lot more popular these days, but can you talk us through that 4th trimester, what it means for baby in terms of development, sleep, and what's realistic about what mum should be able to expect? So should your baby be sleeping through the night at 2 weeks old and those sorts of things? Can you talk us through 4th trimester?
I remember when I first started my business, I started off doing YouTube videos. You'll be able to see me on YouTube if you guys look me up.
I'll go look you up.
Yeah, look me up. I'm very famous on there with my 50 followers. Anyway, I moved into podcasting, but I did do a video because the 4th trimester is like my passion project, and I didn't know about the 4th trimester when I became a mum. It's definitely gaining traction and popularity, but I still think there's lots of mums out there who maybe they've heard of it, maybe they don't quite fully respect it yet. But the 4th trimester, it's called the 4th trimester because it's describing an extension of your 3 trimesters of pregnancy. And so the whole idea is that your baby is still requiring a lot of what they had when they were in utero. We can look at the 4th trimester from a maternal and a baby's point of view. I sort of focus on it being from a baby's point of view. But when your baby's in your tummy, they have a constant food source. They don't have to regulate their temperature. They're perfectly warm all the time. They are rocked all day. As you walk around, you literally are rocking your baby all day long. They've got this continuous background noise in the fall, like, you know, it's noisy in there, like with all of the sounds going on. And they're contained. They're, you know, all snug as a bug in a rug. And so then they're born and their world is like thrown upside down. They're no longer being rocked. They're not held by you all day long. They've got to demand food. They've got to regulate their temperature. Like, what's this? And yet society will have us believe that our babies then have to be put into their bassinet where they sleep, and they have to, you know, do this all without motion. They should be feeding 3 to 4 hourly, like all these expectations that women are fed. And when in actual fact, they need what they needed in utero, and they need time to progress and transition out of what they had in here. Like, there will come a time that they can just be put down and they'll sleep beautifully in a motionless bassinet. And some babies do it sooner than others. But I think the biggest thing about the 4th trimester is realizing that your baby needs time to transition out of what they had when they were in your tummy in their perfect environment.
I think that is the best summary of the fourth trimester I've ever heard, to be honest. And it makes so much sense when you think about it from the baby's point of view. They're not wired to be able to cope without that. It is a transition period. It doesn't mean it's going to last forever, but it is a transition period. And I think that's the perfect transition actually to talk about the 5 S's, which you're going to explain in more detail, because I think they make so much sense to the in utero environment. And I am a huge fan of Harvey Karp, and we definitely read his book before we had my first son, Mussy, and it made the world of difference to how confident I felt settling him in the early days. So do you want to talk to us about the 5 S's and how they relate back to what you just mentioned about the fourth trimester?
Yes. So the 5 S's are exactly the perfect way to replicate what your baby had in utero and helps to ease that transition. So the 5 S's are swaddling, sucking, swinging, shushing, and side lying. So as you said, Harvey Karp is a pediatrician in America who coined these, and they literally are replicating what happened in utero. So for example, the shushing. So the shushing can be shh through your voice. It can be a continuous white noise machine, something like that. But it's replicating all the sounds your baby has just come from in utero. The swinging is the rocking that you ultimately are doing to your baby all day long while you walk. The sucking can be in the form of a breast, a bottle, a dummy, or even some babies will find fingers and things like that quite early on. But babies have a very innate need to suck. It helps them to soothe. And so it's a great way to settle your new baby in the fourth trimester. Side lying, we've got to be careful. Sideline is what we talk about. So I've actually got, not that people are going to see this in the audio, but it's when you're actually holding babies in a sideline position where their tummy's on your tummy. It's okay to settle babies in that position as long as we're then putting them on our back to sleep. And swaddling, it's literally containing our little babies into a swaddle so that they're contained like they were in utero. And all of these are exactly what they were having in your tummy. And so what better way to help them transition than to try and replicate them in the real world? So that is the premise. Yeah, the premise and the, what it looks like.
And I don't know if I actually mentioned, but for those, if we didn't mention, they are settling techniques for newborns. So the idea is that you use the 5 S's to help settle your newborn when they're earthside, because it helps to replicate a lot of those in utero environments for them. And I certainly found that all of those things helped both my children. And it's sort of a progression. You sort of do a couple of the S's, and if they're still not settled, then you try another one, and then you try another one. And it always worked for my kids, and it made so much sense. And do you remember the name of Harvey Karp's book, if anyone did want to look it up?
The Happiest Baby. Yeah, the Happiest Baby on the Block. That's right,
on the block. Yeah,
so block.
I highly recommend that. I read that before having Mussy, and it made the world of difference, because I was like, right, I have 5 things I can try when my baby is not settling very well. And like I said, there was always an option then to try. So if you've tried breastfeeding, the sucking, you've tried the white noise, you've tried this, and then you go, oh, maybe let's try side lie. And then it's like the final S that really helps to settle your baby down. So I think that's really, really important. Hey mamas, Laura here. How great was that episode? If you hadn't yet learned about the fourth trimester, then I'm sure your mind is blown. It makes so much sense why we need to nurture our babies so gently in those first 12 weeks to help them transition to this big, wide world. And I know personally that the 5 S's made a huge difference to my confidence in settling my own newborn. So I hope you got a lot out of that bit too. 2 quotes that I absolutely love from Jen in this podcast episode were, "You wouldn't wing birth, so don't wing having a newborn." Here. So many of my posse members tell me that they wish they had prepared for the postpartum journey so much more. And the other quote I love was, "With confidence comes enjoyment." And as you know, I am all about helping women to not only survive pregnancy, birth, and motherhood, but to thrive. So why not try and make it enjoyable along the way? Now, in the next few episodes, we'll be chatting about newborn sleep, including awake windows, tired signs, routines, and rhythms, and Jen's take on sleep training. So you don't want to miss out on these. I will catch you soon for episode 2.